All right, evening all. How you guys all doing? It's me and Mrs. Success tonight. I thought you guys were gonna just have me, but I got my man Cody who comes through the rain after his daughter's little recital thing. He's a real trooper. So listen, news is going to get really low very, very soon. It's going to be the lull. I think June 1st, because of Ramsey, is going to be a big deal for us. But we've got this big lull for a while. So I think this is the last bit of big news. I'm going to start trying to do some research, try to pull some stuff out. It's just so hard. This team is really one of the hardest teams to evaluate because there's so many new guys and we have so much uncertainty. But overall, I think certain areas seem to be heading up. But I'm going to go through. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to give a grade to all the position groups. And at the end, we'll see kind of where we're at. And I just let you know, it's easier for me to let the reel go out and be positive than it is to be positive and then pull it back. So I'm going to try to take a very neutral tone. I'm not going to, we got Storm Duck. Is Storm Duck going to be the guy for us? I don't know. So I want you to know that my grading is going to be more on the cautious side because I don't want to overhype things. And if things start playing out that way, it's great. I'd rather let that reel go out. So for me, I guess we'll start with the quarterbacks, work our way down to the safeties. What do you think about the quarterback position there, Mr. Cody, Mr. Success?
Well, we're 2/3 Polynesian. That was a shock to me that Zach is Polynesian. He's from
I didn't know that. Is he really?
Yeah, he won the Polynesian Player of the Year award, and I thought it was a joke somebody was making, but I looked it up, and he really did win it.
Wow, so, that's something I did not know. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we got a Polynesian takeover going on in Miami with our second-round pick too. But
yeah. I know you like that.
I think Zach is one of those guys that you just saw get crushed and brutally destroyed in New York like they do to their quarterbacks over there. So I really don't know what he is. I know he's got the Sam Darnold arm. He's got the throw on the run. He's got mobility, but they say processing, making quick decisions, working in the framework. He's the exact opposite of Tua. So it doesn't seem like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a great fit. That Ewers apparently is closer to Tua and can be the point guard, can stay in, not the talent like Zach, but quarterbacking's between the ears, man. I really believe that having all that talent is awesome. Being Josh Allen or Hurts and able to just bail yourself out of any play by running around like a madman, that's awesome. But the real superpower is the processing and the decision making. And you hear Brady talk about it like, I knew what they were going to do. And at halftime, I knew what we had to change. And he'd seen it all. And you want to get our quarterbacks there. But I don't know enough about Ewers. I think Zach's talented, but is it better though? That's a good question. Is the room better? And the answer is yes. But where were we last?
Better than Skyla. He's better than Skyla.
Yeah. And Ewers, they said he was going to go high last year, and then all of a sudden people are upset. We took him in the 7th round. Who gets mad at 7th round picks?
Nah, I mean, you had to add, and I'm fine with it. It is what it is. I watched Kurt Warner do. What happened
for Sanders? I didn't want to do that whole Sanders game. I'm happy we passed on, and people are mad. I'm happy.
Yeah, he's not a guy I want to back. I mean, he's not a bad kid, but there's definitely something there, and at 5th round, you could have chosen Sanders over Phillips, and I'd rather have Phillips.
Me too.
But when you look at the quarterback group, though, Tua, he's got health issues. So can he stay healthy? It's a big question. I think the kid can play, but can he stay healthy? Then you got, as you said, Zach Wilson, who's uncertain about what he is. Can he fit in our system? And then Ewers, you go look at, he's a good processor in the checking down department, but at times he's a little nervous about waiting and holding and going for the big play. But that's fine. That's what you want from a backup, but he's still a rookie. And so as a 3rd string quarterback, I think he's fine. I'm sort of 50-50 on Wilson. And then Tua, he's got to stay healthy, man. So for me, I got to say it's like a B plus. I mean, am I shooting too low here?
I don't think so. I mean, even if you're the biggest Tua fan in the world,
Plus.
even if you're the biggest Tua fan in the world, you can't deny that the guy is one bad decision away from sitting on the for
Here we go.
6 weeks. Dirk,
what's going on, brother? How you doing?
bud?
Oh man, I thought you were gonna take a little break, man, from this little channel over here, man. You need a break, dude. I'm gonna stop paying you.
I'm late as not usual, but I'm pretty, so I'm allowed to be late.
That's all right. Yeah, you are pretty, man.
Don't
sweat it. Yeah, man. So we're going over the grading system. I got the B quarterback group as a B, maybe B plus. I mean, Tua does have talent to facilitate this offense, and it might get expanded by this offensive line. But for me, its huge drag is his health, the uncertainty of where Wilson will fit in, Polynesian or not, and then Ewers, who okay, he's a third string guy and a rookie. That's fine, but we don't have a clear backup, and our starter is a little bit injury prone. So I'm vacillating between B and B plus. What would you go? How many quarterbacks that he can throw with anticipation and timing in McDaniel's offense? I don't know. It's not even just the timing and anticipation. It's if you watch, Tua abbreviates some of his throws by throwing off his back foot, and he's got just a naturally quick release. So if you're not able to get the ball out quick, then what's the timing like? But again, the offensive line might increase that time frame to throw the football. So it's not easy to get it out in 2.04 seconds for anybody. And I don't think that Wilson can or Ewers. But maybe with this offensive line, it could be in a 215, 220 range. I don't know. So what do you think? B or B plus? Or A or C? What do you think?
What you got, Dirk?
Oh, I'd say you were talking quarterback room. I'd say B.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so I went B. I'm like, I felt bad. So that's fair. B. No, I think B is a good deal.
Considering the health issues that we have with our QB1, and no insults to intended, for the people who love him and the people who hate him, I think both are equally ridiculous. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good starter in the league. Has things to work on. Health is a big concern with him. Zach Wilson, I mean, he has the talent, he has the arm, but he's got issues to work with too. And Ewers has progression issues, I think, and
yeah,
that's my big concern with Ewers is he rushes that progression so much, and it gets impatient, and I don't know. So I'd say B is fair.
Okay, good. I thought I was being a bad guy as usual. Hey, Cliff, what's going on there, brother? What's going on, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Second, MRAC, what's going on there? C plus draft for me. We got 2 prime picks. Everybody else is a backup or reach. I still think Phillips can play. I don't know when. He's 20 years old. I think even he had about it was like 400 snaps in college in last year, and I figured maybe 350, 300 to start off with, to 400. But if you can get a good run stopper out of that, and he's 20, I think he could be a player. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but I like that pick. I think it's potential. For me, 7A, I still think he's a good player because of what he could do in the pass game, but I got to see him dig people out. And I think Grant, he's got potential. But so if 7A is a good, let's say he's almost a Pro Bowl player, and so is Grant, that makes it a pretty darn good draft. I would say it's a B area draft if they just are pretty good. But if they go into like the Pro Bowl level, you got to go a little bit higher. I'd like to have seen them done more, but they get a third round pick next year extra because for what they lost. So I think C plus might be a little low, but if 7A doesn't pan out and Grant isn't what he's supposed to, and Phillips doesn't, then I agree 100%. Hey, this Dolphin fan, what's going on there, brother? With Tua healthy, B plus. If he misses any games, D. Yeah, I mean, as long as he doesn't take the hits on the run And if this line picks up, I think but I have to be a little bit more reeled in because he just hasn't proved he can stay healthy except for one season. And I just don't know what to make of Wilson. So, but that's fair. B plus. I was vacillating between B and B plus, and so all right, I'll put a B there because I like to keep it handled. And on a no note, how the Islanders get the number 1 pick? Come on, man. Islanders. Oh man, I don't even know. I grew up in Long Island, man, in 70s. They were so big, man. I tried to play the hockey thing and try to figure it out. It just didn't make any sense to me. I wasn't too bright as a young kid. I just didn't understand. I tried to. I was like, yeah, go Islanders, but I didn't know nothing. I know a lot of people like hockey. Elwood, what's going on? Yeah, how you doing, man? Draft pick that played in one draft pick to play called. Yeah, but you know what? The reality is if you're running that football, that's going to help everybody out. And you're not just throwing the football. Both teams were, when we played KC, who hated the cold. I don't think it was so much the cold thing, it's just our inability to be physical. You've got to be physical. You've got to hit people. You can't have your defense sitting out there, and you can't be throwing all day, and you can't run to the edges. So I think too he's not terrible in the cold games. I remember the numbers. It's a little not indicative of his play because a lot of times we just get smoked because there's some kind of stuff going on. So anyway, running backs. Well, we got Achane, and I think Achane is developing to be the new Hill. I don't think you can knock him in any way, shape, or form. We've got Ingold. I think Ingold really can play, be a good blocker. I don't think he's ever going to be the guy they thought he would be, some kind of big pass catching guy. I just, but maybe if the offensive line picks up, you can get him out there a little bit more. But I don't know. We got Jalen Wright, and then we've picked up Ollie Gordon II. Now, the problem for me is Ollie Gordon II is an inside zone runner. Wright is an inside zone runner. He's kind of fast enough to get to the edge. He could physically make some stuff, but he's not going to be able to rip it to the edge like Mostert and Achane. And so it's going to demand better blocking. Can we increase that blocking on our outside zone to make these guys get, hey, it comes back to me is Brewer, Daniels, and then Savanea. They've got to be able to block inside or at least be able to clear something out on that cutback on the outside zone. So I think the running back group is excellent. I would give it an A. But for this system, it's a little kind of curious because we've had, was it Booker, we had a Balaj, and those guys have no wiggle and they couldn't do the outside zone. And if you can't get that inside blocking, Gordon's he's going to be pedestrian like he was last year. And then Wright, he struggles in pass protection. Is that getting better? And I don't know. What do you think? I want to say A, but for the system, I think it's a little bit lower, What do you think?
You want me to go?
Sure. Why not?
I'm going to say A- in our running back room. I am really, really, really excited about Ollie. I do understand that they are inside running backs. I think that's going to end up being a blessing in disguise.
Hey, you got a fellow Alaskan over here.
I see that. I know. I'm curious where he's from.
Where are you from, brother?
Someone who can confirm that North Pole is a real place. I've had some people on a couple of my streams be like, North Pole isn't a real place. I'm like, brother, yes, it is.
Is that where Santa Claus lives?
They got the Santa Claus house right down the road, man.
That is funny. Oh, he lives in Anchortown.
Anchorage, okay. Yep. They call that Los Anchorage up here.
Los Anchorage. That's crazy. I've never been there.
I'd say A-, solid A-.
I think that's fair. I could say B+, but I'll go with A-. If we can't get the inside zone, I think it will go down to like a B+, but because Achane can't take the load. Yeah. But at this stage, we don't know. I mean, we've got Daniels is an upgrade, and so is Savanea, no matter how they play. So
and I think Wright has the ability to become an every down back.
He does.
And I think that if we end up I really think, like you mentioned earlier, phasing out Achan into more of a situational running back and mixing him into the slot receiver and even the, two receivers sometimes. I think he has a massive ability to make catches. He's got wide receiver hands. So I'd love to see it.
I do too. I think that you got to move off Hill at the end of the season. And I think he's he's just a natural replacement for that kind of player. I don't think he's got the same wiggle. But I think he can do it. What about you, Cody? What would you give this running back group?
Well, I want to see Ollie Gordon, and I want to see how our inside zone works. But to me, it's at least a B. At least a B. And it's not a redundant room. Like, we have all the different pieces that you would need to have a diverse running scheme, which we obviously need to diversify, but we got a hammer. We got, Wright can be a little bit of a hammer, but he also has some speed. And then we have a little.
Did he run like a 4.35 or something?
Yeah. Yep. He ran a 4.35, 4.36, something like that. And Wright, we've seen, or Achan, he's a stud. He's the kind of guy you get in a Reggie Bush guy, and you want to get him out in open space and get him the ball and some swings, everything. Achan's a home run hitter. Wright can be a home run hitter. And if Ollie Gordon and the inside zone works, this room has the potential to be one of our best units on the team, I think. And I don't know that Ollie Gordon, man, I don't care if we can get that much of a dig. We just need a yard.
We need a yard. That's it.
A yard. That's all we ever need is a yard, man. Like,
I think it was
ball forward for a yard, right?
I think it was Cliff talking about Farrah Brown. I'll get to him in a little bit, but yeah, you got Farrah Brown, you got Paul, you got Daniels, you got Savonnet. We've got to be able to get some inside zone. Yeah. And again, I don't think we were 27th last year. If we could just get to 20, it would open everything up. So I don't think we need some huge growth in that to expand what we do and alter the defenses. And that's really the key. Even if you just dip a little bit in that interior and force them to crunch their leverage, then you can hit them on the outside. And now they're, back and forth. So I agree. I'll say B+, but for my man Dirk, I'll say A-. Gordon film is impressive too. He's really good pass blocking running back. That's a huge asset. But to be fair, he didn't have the blocking last year, and he got a lot of knocks about him not running as hard as he should, being a little bit of a complainer when the blocking wasn't there. I don't like that. I got to keep that in it. That's fair. But that's a point. Achan can't pass block. Last year, Wright struggled with it. And this guy, Ollie Gordon, is actually a very good pass blocker. It's a huge asset. So I think just in that alone, you'll have a third down back, although we got to see it happen on the NFL level. So I think A- is very, very fair.
And don't forget oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
As far as Ollie goes, let's not forget, not only is he a good pass blocker, but he likes to pass block.
Yeah.
He takes that opportunity as a chance for him to prove himself as an actual football player, not just the plays where he gets the ball. He likes to lay people out. And I think I can't remember the last time we had a skill position player that loves to block.
Yep. I missed one pass block when I was a walk-on, and that started my downward cycle. One pass block. So that's a critical one pass block. But my coach set me up. He told me, because it was a drill, he told me it was run blocking because he didn't like me. And so I set up for a run block, and it was a pass block. He didn't tell me. But they put me on a kid that was like 6'2", 240, and he was Division I talent sitting on my team. He didn't like me. My head coach liked me, but he didn't like me. That bum. I can't stand that guy. I still remember him. Dumbest dude ever. Anyway, so yeah, it's critical, man. Critical. If you miss some pass block, especially on the NFL with how valuable these guys are, you're doomed. And so we gotta hope. Yeah, we gotta hope that Wright picks it up too. Yeah.
The room's young. We got? We need a healthy room, and we got young kids, and that's how you stay healthy, man. Is you bring in young guys.
We still got Madison too. I forgot about him, Alexander Madison. He kind of disappeared on it. So he's a vet. And that's a guy too you can depend on. So I think, I forgot about him. A-. Definitely
And in 1 year, we've gone from last year, we were the third oldest team in the NFL, and now we're the fifth youngest.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing how it swings.
Yeah, I'm happy.
No more Jeff Wilson getting 2 carries and busting his abdomen and being out for 4 weeks. I love Jeff Wilson. That dude ran hard back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have it anymore. He couldn't stay healthy, but he was a stud too.
Yeah, but you can't really. It's very difficult to get these old, running backs. Most of it was a rare exception, but he didn't get a lot of running carries throughout his career. So, most of these older guys, they're finished. That's why the average lifespan is like 3.5 years, 4 years for a running back. It's there for a reason. So we got tight ends. We got Julian Hill. Tanakana's still on the team.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah, Tanakana is still there. Farrell Brown, Jonnu, and Hayden Rucci. I like this group, but I think there's also questions. Hayden Rucci looked really good, but he got injured. Can he develop? We really need developing of that tight end because he's still pretty young. Jonnu, he's great for what he does. He can pass block a little bit, just can't run block. He's obviously awesome in the pass game. Farrell Brown is a pretty good player. Big guy. Tanakana, I'm not going to talk about him. He hasn't done anything ever. And then Julian Hill, we've been hearing about this guy develop. It's about time. But there's 2 big questions. Rucci, Hill, Tanakana. Really, for me, the only thing I could depend on is Farrell Brown, who can be a solid block. He's a big guy. And then you have the pass catching. So I'm kind of leaning towards a BB plus, or am I going too low?
I would say you're right on the spot there. My only thing I want to do is, and I never do this with undrafted free agents, but I feel like we need to talk about Conyers, the tight end that we signed as an undrafted free agent.
Don't know him.
Jalen Conyers.
The 5th Jalen.
Dude, yeah. Another spelled a different way. This guy's
give me the lowdown, man.
He's good. He's got hands. He's big. He's like a 6th lineman, but he's got speed. He can run routes very well. He can go up and get the ball, and no one can move that man off his spot. Like I'm blown
How come
away
he fell out of the draft then?
I have no idea. No idea. I cannot find any reason why. I don't understand it. He doesn't get injured. He's tough, positive attitude.
I have to check him out.
I heard
from
Simon Clancy talking about him. And Simon Clancy said the more film he kept watching, he would realize there's a lot of downs he's not on the field. And there's other fullbacks, other tight ends that really aren't a big part of the team who are on some of those key downs. And I believe, I don't want to misquote him, but he said Conyers has to figure out what kind of a player he wants to be. Ultra talented, big guy, has moves, great hands, runs good routes, but sometimes shies away from the physicality. But then he said in other games, he's out there just dominating people. Yeah, so he just couldn't figure out what this guy really was and why he wasn't on the field as much as probably he should be when you see his talent flash. But he's a good-sized guy, and he looks like he's got some moves too. So
6'4", 280 pounds.
Is he 280?
That's what the thing said.
I thought he was like 268.
Maybe it was 260. Let me double check. I don't want.
I thought it was close to 270.
That's intriguing. I've been kind of wiped out, so I didn't even check up on him. And I'm going to spend a lot of time on him tomorrow. That's exciting.
They're calling him the Walmart version of Warren.
6'4", 270.
270. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, that's huge. That's huge. How's it? If Ramsey gets traded, do you think his team is soft? No, I doubt it. No, I doubt it.
I think the
younger T is bigger and faster than Hill. Good. Let's get rid of Hill. I just don't buy into him. I'm going to check him out, though. That's good information. So Farrell takes Jobs, Hill. Conyers takes Durham's role. That's not hard to do. Durham he's like okay, but I can't believe we paid what we paid and stuck as long as we did with him.
Conyers could very well end up getting a spot on this team. And, they got him listed at 270, 6'4". And
270. Elwood's saying 240.
No, he's 270.
I think Farrell Brown's closer to
Did you check the combine? Did he go to the combine? You checking the combine number?
Combine said 268, but I can double check again.
No, that's it. He's 268, and he probably dropped a few pounds to run that 40 if he ran the 40.
Yeah, let me try to find his stats.
That's a big guy.
Yeah.
All right. So next would be receivers. Easy. Are we ever going to say anything? I mean, we got Taj Washington coming back. Malik Washington to me was a really good pick.
Yep.
Westbrook, I think, is really good. Just to play on the boundary, to let Hill. I've talked about how Hill needs to play in the slot, and so I obviously like this. I got to say A. I wouldn't. I'm not going to say A+ because Hill's just, you can't depend on him, and I like Waddle a ton. I think he's very underpaid. Both of them though are slightly injury prone. But I like Westbrook because he is a big guy. We need that. And I like Washington a ton. So obviously I think you got to go with the talent you've got there. I say A. I'll refrain from A+.
So Conyers, he ran a 4.7 40.
What he ran?
4.7.
Not bad, man, for a guy that big.
4.7 40.
Wow. Yeah, look, that's what Cliff was saying. His athletics is sick too. I know you like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't need it, but I like it.
Yeah, broad jump's 121. Like, I mean, he's got some athleticism.
Wow.
Sure.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe that's a find. I'm going to spend some time on this guy. Good information, man. Put a smile on my face. I got to check all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's just not, I don't know what the deal is. That's so weird that he fell out of the draft like that.
Maybe it's just inconsistency.
Yeah, why though? Why? Effort?
Maybe, I don't know, but all the reports say he's hard worker, good leader on the team. So I don't know what the deal is. But.
All right, so I got an A for the receiving group. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Cody, Mr. Success? A?
Man, I hate to say it, I just want Tyreek off my team. And 3 years ago, are you kidding me? I would say to myself 3 years ago, you want him off your team, but I'm sick of him, man. Sick of all of it. But I like the big guys that we brought in, especially the UDFAs, that Armstrong kid. With Nick, how do you say his name? Keenan Westbrook, is that right?
Oh, Westbrook.
Keenan.
Westbrook. Keenan.
Okay. I like his size. I like what he brings. He's got the Rashard Matthews vibes. We got some bigger targets. So really all these spots we needed to get bigger at, offense and defense. We got bigger and younger. Whether these guys pan out, we got bigger and younger at a lot of spots, including receiver. And that was we had Odell giving us 10% last year. Boy, that was a bust. So we've been looking for that guy in Washington. Washington reminds me of a faster Jarvis Landry. That guy gets the ball and he's north and south and he's looking to score. I still
remember that hit he took on a punt or the kickoff and he came back in. That showed a lot.
Yep. And he's got juice. He's one of those guys that has juice that'll pick the team up. So I think we could literally get rid of Hill. And I'm not saying we're a better team. The guy's an amazing talent, but we can get rid of Hill and have a room that can still be a productive room. So I love it. I'll say B+, which is probably an A, but I just am pissed at Hill, so I can't give him an A.
That's fair. Hey, Alexander, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight? So O-line. All right, here we go. I'm gonna let you guys go first. My man, who's a former offensive lineman, tell me what he thinks about grading this offensive line.
Oh, like I said, after that first draft, for a couple of days of the draft, I made that video. In the first 30 seconds of the video, I just sat there and smiled at the camera. I didn't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah, I was watching that one today.
So I'm happy with what we've done. I think we can need a little more the depth range. But I'm very happy with the undrafted free agent linemen that we've picked up. They have promise. I'm gonna go B- right now.
Ooh, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think B- is fair.
I want to scream A+ at the top of my lungs just because of our draft pick, but I'm controlling myself. I'm limiting the hopium. I'm saying B-.
I think that's fair. Cody, what do you think?
Man, this is where you start to get the homer out of me. Is I think this Jonah kid is a stud. I think he's a stud. And I've been getting too deep in the rabbit hole about, guys that really believe in him making some videos. I've heard the name Penei Sewell thrown out. I just heard a lot. I know, Curtis.
That's a little bit.
But I also heard, I can't remember where I heard this. They said that there's a good chance that Jonah Sabanaya
Yeah.
would rather die than let Tua get hurt out there on the field.
Yep.
And that's the Polynesian culture. Those guys are linked. And to me, I know that's not a quantifiable stat in any way, but I believe, dude, it was Liam Eichenberg last time. Like, it was Liam Eichenberg last time. So we're just light years better. But the movement skills, and if he can show Curtis, he's got to show Curtis he can dig and that he can move people. The day he moves a big body DT, Curtis is just going to start
going crazy. Yeah.
Right about this guy. And I can't wait.
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't know about James Daniels. I feel like we're all getting really excited about a guy who flashed, which cool. Maybe he's got what it takes. He's also a big guy. I like Brewer. I know his limitations. I like what he can do if we have the right guards. Jackson is Jackson, and Paul's a big physical dude. Like, there's a chance we could have a nastier line. Well, we are going to have a nastier line. And if we have even a remotely nasty line on a certain spots, and that's our attitude, where Tua can throw the ball 17 times and we can still win a game, and the whole internet will just talk shit about how Tua didn't even do anything to win the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'll love that day. I'll be like, cool. Yeah. I didn't want him to. That was great. We actually have a team now. So the homer in me is getting pretty excited about the depth. Scares me though.
It's terrible depth.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So we need to sign somebody ASAP.
Yeah.
What's our cap at right now? Does anyone know?
We're at 17 million, and if we trade Ramsey post June 1st, you're looking at 23 million. If we kick Bailey, our punter, out, since we got the new guy, we'll be at 26 million.
If we get rid of who? I'm sorry, I was reading. I can't do two things at once.
The punter Bailey, the guy we don't need anymore.
He's gone.
We cut him. We get 3 million or 3.5. So we'd be at about 26 million if we got rid of him and trade Jalen Ramsey.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a huge dude, man. He's a huge dude. Paul's huge.
Get both Will Hernandez and Dalton Risner for 10 mil.
Will we? I don't think they'll come. I think Risner might, but those guys might not want to come here if they're going to be backing up.
Yeah. I think Will Hernandez wants a starting gig for sure.
Yeah. Anthony and Manzano. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? I feel that our base is putting too much stock in the fact both Jonah and Tua Polynesian are going to help. I don't think it's too much stock for me, but if you have commitment, football's a game of commitment. And so if you have deep-rooted commitment, it gives you the better chance to have success. And so it's just a nice little maybe cherry on top to say this kid's going to give everything he's got. It's not going to help him play better, but it will help him commit more. And maybe if he's hurt a little bit more, to give a little bit more. Remember, a lot of these offensive linemen, they're not like Tehran. I mean, Tehran was dying out there and still giving everything he has. Most guys are not like that. They get a little dinged, they get a little hurt, and then they start pulling it off the top. But if you have that kind of family cultural bonding, he might give that full, even though he's in wretched pain or something. You know what I mean? So I agree, but I also agree with Cody as well. Daniels and 7A are an improvement. So is Jackson coming back? But Tehran's absence is big. Yeah. So for me, it's okay. What is Paul really going to be? He had some nice plays and he had a lot of inconsistency. Is he an inside zone guy? He dropped 10 pounds to help for the outside zone. Can he block? Without Tehran, Jackson and Paul are going to be asked to be on their own more. Now you can maybe Daniels and Brewer and then Savanaya, you can send that help outside. And we throw so fast, the outside pass rush isn't as important. But it is at a certain point because, most of the time it's not, but you don't want that bad connection of, oh, they cover well and he's got to hold the football and then some guy gets totally past somebody very quickly and it gets lit up like a Christmas tree. So Pole's just there's a lot of question marks for me. That's offensive line's about consistency first. That's why, an average offensive lineman, their protection grade, it's got to be like in the 98th percentile to be semi-good, so consistency is absolutely critical. I don't know what Paul can do. I know he can man guys up and move them, but how can he pass block on his own? How he's going to do getting into space? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what the 10 pounds is going to look like taken off and how he's improved. I clearly knew he needed a second year, so this will be a big question. But then Daniels too, he was never that good. And he's coming off an Achilles. So that's another question mark for me. I just don't know. And then Brewer, I like Brewer and everything he does, but he doesn't move anybody. He's good, but he's got to have that help because if Daniels is taking his time getting in, just imagine Eichenberg's back there, and that's not good. But I like him to an extent. And then Savanea, he's a rookie. You got to be fair to the kid too. He's 21 years old. Remember we were talking about, Jackson was so young. He was 20. He was a year younger. So the kid can clearly pass block with what I like, and that's a big piece of the puzzle. I think he's a definite upgrade over Jones or Eichenberg no matter what. And then Jackson, I'm not big on Jackson. I'm sorry. He's always injured. He can't pass block. You ever see that guy get beat he's beat like a drum way too much. So I'm not, and just imagine if he goes down again. That means Savanea or Naya is going to have to play tackle or Borum, and then you got Eichenberg back. So health, I have to say I'm with Dirk, B-. But the potential's there. If all these guys stay healthy and there's some improvements, it could go much higher. Yeah. But there's just a lot of question marks and there's no depth. And what are they going to do as far as getting guys in the background to fill this out? It could be very good. Paul steps up. Daniel comes back, and he does pretty good. Even slowly gets into the groove, but he starts week one. Brewer's gonna be Brewer. You know what he can do. Savanaya, all of a sudden he's digging guys out, and he's playing above his head for a rookie. And Jackson stays healthy. But that's a lot of if ands. The if and what is it? You're a math guy. What's that whole the if and those questions,
butts and coconuts and grenades.
No, what's that math? Remember, I used to have to do that stupid math. I hated the if then. You had the math problems like if and I don't know, whatever. Never mind.
I don't know, man.
It's like the equations. Like if something equals, I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
I teach elementary math.
Oh, all right. I didn't do much better in elementary math. They're saying that we can only trade Jalen Ramsey, eat the rest of his contract. That's the only. I wouldn't say the whole thing. So let's say that he restructures his deal, and we eat 75%. I think we can get a conditional 5th round pick, but I don't think there's any way you can't move him because he is not going to be happy.
Yeah.
And, the Rams are already talking about it. There's going to be a lot of maneuvering, but Ramsey's going to let them know. Look what he did with the Jags. You think he wants to spend another year here? He's already said he doesn't. So they're going to have to move him. They're going to have to eat money. And I think some of the money that we want to have is not going to be there because it's going to, it's going to sit on a cap this year and next year. So I don't know, but I think he's gone. I don't see how. What Angel said, Paul's crazy athletic. Yeah, he is. He's so big. He's so bigger. Elwood, Riser's not coming here. Yeah, Butch Barrett hate each other. They're not coming here. No way. What people forget about Patrick is he didn't really have a ton of playing time. No, he didn't. And he was supposed to be a red shirt guy. I know you. I don't have to read your stuff. Rebuild year. It is a rebuild year.
They no pick for Ramsey. They're going to get a pick for Ramsey. I kind of thought maybe they'd trade him for a player, but it looks like we're trying to just get some money. We know we have to eat some money. We're trying to move Hill next year. We're getting Ramsey out of there. I think we're just trying to do what we started in 2019 and get picks and build this team through the draft. I don't want us to do a shortcut after one more draft and be like, oh, we're right there. Let's start adding free agents. I think we're going to go into the draft next year with 11, 12 picks. And we're going to keep doing this thing the way we tried to do it this year. And another good draft on the O-line and D-line and some safeties, corners maybe. You know, we need another good draft like this, and I'm going to be feeling pretty good about stuff.
2027 is my year. I think that's what we're shooting at. And no, that wasn't English, Cliff. I don't know what the heck. I'm trying to remember the thing I did in college, in high school or something like that. It was like, if something is this, then that, whatever. It's like the equations or something, whatever. I know. Daniel's the best. For 4 games, and then he got his Achilles blown out. But check his season the year before with the Steelers and his seasons with Chicago. He wasn't good. He could pass block, but there's a whole history there. And if he had a whole year like those first 4 games, I'd be like, oh, maybe he finally clicked or something. But now he's coming off an Achilles. So I just think that if the league saw that, they would have given him more money. He's only 27. Yeah. So he was about ready to get cut anyway. The Steelers wanted to get rid of him. They were going to trade him last year, and then he got injured. So, I'm not too high on him. I see stuff that I like. But coming off an Achilles, man, and go back and feel the back of your leg and feel that tendon. That thing got ripped. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal. And then think about with Jalen Ramsey, you got to drive with that thing, and then you're getting hit from behind. There's a really good chance this guy gets re-injured if he comes back too early. So I don't know. Don't forget all the cuts. Yeah, there's cuts.
Yeah, good point.
But players don't. Teams don't get rid of good offensive linemen, good corners. They did. It's we don't need great ones. We need some good depth, and there'll maybe be some guys there. But as far as starters go, in case a guy goes down, it could get ugly. Ace, I feel that's some more fan base was either delusional or had too much faith in Ramsey. I didn't. He had a tracker of doing this. Yeah, he didn't. He was getting to a fist fight with his coach. I wasn't too high on it, man. I really wasn't. I don't know why we had to do it. Greer is just like crazy. Why did he have to get Chubb? Why did he have to get Ramsey? Why all this stuff? It was just really stupid, and you're never going to get the stuff, that 3rd round pick again. And you spend all that money. It was a bad move, sadly. I mean, I understood they were going all in, they were trying to do it, but as soon as he came out with that knee injury, that kind of sucked. Have we talked about the newest Tyreek? No, what happened?
Well, you didn't hear about that?
No.
He was on TikTok or Snapchat doing a little interview with somebody.
Can't stand that dude.
And they asked him to pick his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and he left Tua off, and he put Baker Mayfield in there instead.
What?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't really see anything wrong with his list, but yeah, he left Tua off the list.
So you think there's issues between those two?
I have no idea. It's Reek speak. Who knows?
That guy's a jackass. Yeah. How can you do that after all these years of saying how great he was?
Oh yeah. I have no idea what's.
I can't stand that dude. I think he's just damaged goods. He's a total jackass.
He wants out. Out. Relationship is not going to be repaired, just like Ramsey's.
Yep.
Oh man.
Except the difference is that Tyreek knows that he's stuck for another year.
Yeah, there's no way out for him, man. He's doomed. He's here. He can't get out. I'm not saying he's doomed to be here, but his aspirations are doomed. All right, so I'm going to go D tackle and DE. I'll save edges for a second group.
So not edges in this rating?
No, just DEs. So when you look at it, you got Jalen Phillips. He's an edge, but I'm not going to get Quentin Bell. He's an edge. I think Bradley Chubb's more of a DE now. He's 275. I think he's going to bulk up to about 280, 285. Do like an Agba.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I think so. Then you got Cameron. Not Cameron Good. He's small. We still got Murphy. Somebody was asking about Grayson Murphy. He's still on the team, I think.
He had some promise, man. That guy looked like he was going to be a pretty good pass rusher, too.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It's hard, You can flash, but it's the consistency. You know, it's just so many injuries and so much. You can pop and then disappear once the tape catches up. You're an injury or something. Well, really, if you think about it, we got Benito Jones, we've got Kenneth Grant, we've got Phillips, we've got Zach Seal. I'm not big on Farrell. I think he's garbage. We got Matt Dickerson. I don't know. He's played a little bit.
Yeah,
he's played a little bit.
Matt Dickerson.
Yeah.
But then after that, really, there's no real edges except for maybe Bradley Chubb. I think that in that position, he can still be effective. I just don't think he's going to be who he was. You can't be out for all those years with, what was it, 2 ACLs, or was it 1 ACL and Achilles?
I thought it was 2 ACLs. Same
2 ACLs?
Yeah.
I think it was 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time. But he could play that physical role as like a 4-5 technique. And I think this group is pretty darn good. I mean, Zach Seal is an A+, so you got him. I mean, a lot of guys in the league don't have him. Benito Jones is not that good. I think Phillips' potential. Kenneth Grant's surely going to be about a B just to start off with.
Yeah, Benito has a chance to be serviceable. That's about it.
Serviceable is about it. I'm going to say B+. Is that fair?
I think so.
Depth. I think depth could be a little bit of an issue.
Just because of depth, I would say B-. Just
B-.
because of depth, yeah. Still,
what about you?
It's encouraging, but
I hope Phillips immediately becomes a rock. That wide stance he has, it's really interesting. And if your job is to not get moved, like, there's a lot of technique to that, but if your job is to not get moved, you can either not get moved or you can't. Like, you're either a guy who can plug that spot or not. And he filled the exact hole that big fat Benito Jones was supposed to fill.
Yeah.
So again, we keep building rooms where it's like, okay, we have different types of pieces. When it seemed like last year we just had maybe a good starter and then the backup was exactly the same. Our wide receiver room was small. It just seemed like whatever we did it on repeat. And right now the D tackle room looks like, because who was our best run stuffer? Campbell?
Yeah.
And Campbell's not a 0, but he was like our best at being a 0. Well, now we can have maybe a young kid and Benito rotating, staying fresh. And if Phillips can play, I know Grant looks like a stud, but to me, I feel like if Phillips can be a really good stalwart DT 0, then this room just got a whole lot better, because that's a stud, man. And we can move them around where they're supposed to play if we can get that 0 taken care of.
I totally agree. I mean, it's Justin. Yeah, he's not a top 5 quarterback, but it's the same thing with Greer being asked about the leaders of the team, and his second leader is Hill, and he doesn't mention Tua. It's just not smart. Like a team, you look at the Patriots, they always protected the team, the brand, the philosophy, the narrative. It's just, you don't want to deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
And so if Hill had any sense and he was a team guy, he would just say, yeah, my quarterback, he put him at 5, but there's a reason he didn't put him at 5.
Yep.
That's like a passive. He's like Greer, that passive aggressive little people, like inside the little people. So everything they do is they can't just say what they got to say. It's, if you could talk Tua up for all these years, there's no way you can not make him top 5 and put Mayfield over him. Even if either you were lying then or you're being a jackass now. So
and nobody would have even batted an eye.
Yeah,
Tyreek said Tua number 1, and then went with the rest of the group. Everybody would have a laugh at it, and that would be it. But
it wouldn't be a thing to talk about.
Right.
Yep.
That would just be like whatever.
But he's purposely becoming a cancer. He's allowing things to kind of chip away. And remember, everything is about football is about control, especially the narratives. Yeah, Hill's a jerk, Phil. Yeah, I can't say. Word is Tua is not a fan. Yeah, shouldn't be.
Yeah, how could he?
I'm actually proud of Tyree of Tua if he said that. How could he not? Guy beats women and stuff. He's a piece of garbage.
There are rumors there's some tension between him and Tua and Jalen Waddle too. It started in that game when Waddle asked if Tyreek was done.
Yeah, how could there not be?
You could see it on the sideline. They were kind of.
And the way he asked it too is like, "Are you really coming out of this game, dude? Like, are you really?"
Yeah.
This game right now, like, do you know what that means for everything moving forward, man.
It's like your wife cheating on you or flirting at least with another guy or something, like right in your face.
Yep. In-date
It's
setting,
breaking
too.
the bond. Weaver almost got the Noel coach job last year. Watch him with great pass rush. Ramsey was average last year. Fuller was out. Yeah, no, he did a great job last year. But also, too, we really weren't playing a lot of top offenses. We had played some pretty poor offenses. But I think Weaver, if you say, hey, one of these guys got to be your coach, who do you want? I would say Weaver instantly, without even batting an eye. Like make Weaver the head coach. That's like without even batting an eye. So I think the guy, he's a player, and he's got a little bit of that, carrot and stick behavior. He can bring both because he'll get that respect. So I agree. Tension between him. Yeah, how could you not? The guy's a loser, man. He's a quitter. He beats women and kids and stuff. Would you want to really hang out with this guy? I mean, you would.
X did. X liked hanging out with him, I think.
Hill?
Yeah, I think Xavier Howard and Hill had a lot of good fun together.
Yeah, but it kind of sort of a lot of ways. Not the same. Xavier Howard is much tougher, better football player, but he has lots of issues too with himself and the background. He was a little bit of shady dude.
I think between the two of those guys, they've got about 11 baby mamas.
Yeah,
I don't get that. That's crazy. Mike McDaniel has to control the team. He has to make a stand. He's going to get gone at the bench. He could. This thing could either go very well, because remember, all it's about winning. So if he becomes a little bit harder and they start winning, he might be able to shift the gears. But if he starts doing, trying to be tough guy, and they start losing, this thing will come off. The wheels will come off real quick. I was wondering, is Jalen will play with hesitation, not trust his body. Oh yeah, it's going to take him a while to get back. Phillips will be. I mean, after the first injury, he really was himself mid-season. Did he play week 1? I can't remember.
Who?
Yeah, he played Jalen Phillips last year.
He rushed it back, whatever he did. No, he did. Was that?
Yeah, he was in week 1. Not very often. They were easing him in, but he played.
Yeah. They should have taken a hit and got rid of Hill. But they don't have the character to do that. Phillips is going to make the roster and contribute. He is a mind shift. Yeah, I do. I think so. And also, I forgot to say, he's a wrestler too.
Yes.
And that's where that stance comes in. That's a big deal.
Yep.
Is easily top 10. Yeah. It just, the injury thing really, you can't, if you're not consistent, I think from a throwing standpoint, but it's harder now because you got to think too that he really can't run anymore because there's just too much at stake. So if you can't run, or teams know you're going to be hesitant, that pulls a lot of things that what they're going to be waiting for, and it lowers his ability to perform. So I'd say he's been around the 12 to 10 area, but the fact that he's now going to be into bubble wrap, most likely, it does lower some of that. But that's a shame of Terry corrupted Waddle.
If we could get him to blitz us, if we could make us
attack
Tua and say, all right, man, we know you guys can run. We have to.
Then he'll rise.
We're not getting to him with our 3 like we're used to getting to. Then I think that guy can really use the most of his skills.
Yeah, he needs that.
After him.
Yeah, 100%.
But they don't come after him. They come after Lamar, but they don't come after Tua.
Well, it's because they fear the run game. Yeah. And they got to creep up for that stuff. And then, they don't want to give him too much time because he can buy a lot of time running around. So, but yeah, if he gets blitzed, he'll definitely be able to take advantage of it.
I got a question.
Ken McDaniel, though, to me, it comes down to you don't got audibles. So if they're going to come out and play pass defense all day, high leverage, and you don't got audibles, it's a bad place to be. It's a shame if Tyreek. No, I don't think Tyreek corrupted Waddle. I think he's sick of the guy. I think there's no illusions anymore. Weaver's about to make, well, we'll see. We'll get into that in a second. All right. So edges. All right. Phillips, we don't know when he's coming back. Quentin Bell's here. I kind of like what Quentin Bell does. He's a little bit small. I think he played pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Good athlete.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Chop Robinson, he's got to stop the run. Kamara, everyone, I remember that's the thing. People last year, I'm like, I don't know about Kamara. Oh, no, look at his film. Look at the film. Guys, not every pick is going to be a star.
Yeah.
Most UDFAs aren't doing jack. You got to be, it's like the slugging percentage on that stuff is low, but maybe Kamara comes back, but he's got short arms. There's some things there. You got Grayson Murphy. You got Cameron Good. Really, it's Chop Robinson. That's really it. That's the only guy that you can truly say, I like Quentin Bell as a little piece of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can put Chubb out there and count him, but we counted him as a D end. Kamara, I don't know. I'm saying B. Am I wrong?
I mean, my rank's B+, so not too far off.
It's a
because the thing is, my concern is we can't stop the run, really.
Yeah.
I think Quentin Bell's pretty good against the run, and he's pretty big, 6'4", 253. But Chop really struggles against it. Kamara struggles against it. Cameron Good's never been good against it. Jalen Phillips was, but when will he be Jalen Phillips? So I think B+ is fair. What do you think, Cody? You're going to split the difference. Tell me what you think. B.
I'm going to say B, and that's a little generous for me, but let's put Zach out on the edge. Let's put Zach on the edge now.
Well, he plays 5 technique. He plays 5 technique.
And Chop, moving Chop around, if Chop can just kind of float around and pick his spots, and he's got big boys in front of him eating up gaps, I think Chop, that first step, he could be the guy. But Phillips, man, I love Phillips. That guy is built like a god. He just can't stay healthy. And in my gut says, don't ever get excited about him being on the field again. I hate that. He seems like a great dude, but he seems like the guy that's going to get right back to form and something happened. Like he's been battling it his whole career, college, everything.
Jordan Poyer's not on the team anymore, so we should be safe, right?
Who?
Poyer.
Eichenberg's still on the team, and there's still a possibility here, guys.
Yeah, he'll injure a defensive player.
The names say you got an A. You look at the names and you look at their peaks. You're like, this is an A group of pass rushers.
Yeah.
But reality says it's a B at least, or at the most.
The good news, though, is I think we do have some weaker edges, but the linebacker group, I think, does offset that. I like our linebacker group. We got Jordan Brooks, I think, is a real stud. KJ Britt, he's a filler. He's a run-stopping filler.
Need him.
Situational. Yep.
Yeah, Willie Gay's the same thing. I mean, people had some videos out that he was, he's got a lot of talent, but I think maybe he got off juice or something, because he had a couple of good seasons and now he's been pretty poor for a couple of years. So he's a physical.
Get him back on it, damn it.
Get back on it. Whatever it takes, right? But I like Dotson. I think Dotson and Brooks are really, I don't count Channing Tyndale at all. I mean, he could blitz, maybe. You could put him as a blitzer. I think, as people have been saying, it's going to come down to Weaver really dialing up some stuff, just bringing different guys and blitzing from different positions, trying to get some guys free like a Tyndale to get some value out of him. But I think the linebacking group's B+ because Dotson is a real good player, stopping a pass, and I think Brooks is too. They can't really get off blocks, but I think with the front that we got, they're not going to have to get off as much as they did last year. So maybe I'm over. I could go B, but I'm thinking B+. I think maybe B. Or is it B+? I don't know. What do you think? A-?
Yeah, I like by committee. I like our linebacker room. I do.
What about you, Cody?
I like Dotson a lot. I like Brooks. Prove that he's a very versatile player.
And a leader telling him how soft
guy, but Britt's a fill guy. Again, I keep bringing up. I like how we have the guys we need. We have a room that's diverse. We have all the guys for situational football. So I don't know a lot about Willie Gay. I know he comes from, winning organization. He's got a good, real cool name. People like him, so, but I want you to make a video, Curtis. Just go right down the roster and just say yes or no. Did we get better? Did we get better here? Did we get better here? And I think we're going to have a lot of checks in. Did we get better? And I think the linebacker crew's better too. So.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I mean, it's sort of the same because we had Dotson and we got Brooks, But then we did add Gay, and then we did add KJ Britt.
Right.
So I guess in a way we did. Now safety and cornerback, that's the question mark. If Ramsey's gone, so I'm going to go B+. I'm not going to go A-. I'm going to go B+. We'll have B+, A-. But we've got Duck, Bonner, Smith, Burns, Kohu, Marshall, Maitre, and Isaiah Johnson. I love the name Duck, and he played okay in some parts. Bonner, he's still developing. Smith, I can't put anything on Smith. Burns, he's okay. Phil guy. Kohu, okay, you can play him inside. He played really well, but is he going to be the first half Kohu or the second half Kohu? Marshall Jr., we'll see. Maitre, he's okay. Isaiah Johnson's got some talent, but that's a really scary group if you think about it. And, if it was just that easy just to bring guys in off the streets and play them, everybody be doing it. So I'm saying at this stage, C-. Am I wrong?
No, I have D+.
D+.
But I will say
you're a nasty guy. I'm
two
supposed to be the
small
nasty
things.
guy.
Number one, Storm Duck has improved every time he's played.
Yeah.
I feel like he's getting better and better. I like that. I'll give him that for sure. And number two, Jason Maitre, we really need to watch out for this guy this year. Good. And then got hurt. I want to see what he does in the offseason this year and see how he looks in preseason, because that guy's got a chance to be one of those surprises for us. Not
Are you talking about
total
Smith?
Surprise. Jason Maitre.
Oh, Maitre, yeah.
Yep.
So there's like a freeze there for a second.
Yeah. Cam Smith, boo. No.
Oh, he's terrible.
There's two people that are probably going to beat him out for a spot. So
they still list him at 186 pounds.
Wow.
That's bad news. And he's like I said, from when I first evaluated him, he's got a bad start. Like he's not hot out of the chute, like he's got good speed, but he doesn't have fast twitch. He doesn't pop. And if he puts on weight, it's just going to slow that pop. And I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're playing zone, but you still need pop even in zone. You just don't need as much speed.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This is the room we didn't get better.
No.
I really liked Fuller. I liked Isaiah Johnson a little bit. Like I don't know how to break down
6'3", man. That guy's 6'3".
I just watched him and it was just like, wow, this guy looks the part. And then, Alf really liked him. And I listened to Reason. The guy hits a lot. He was so sold on Cam Smith's film from college. And I just have to kind of hold on to that. Just hope there's something there, something that sparks. But I like McMorris a little bit, but we're talking about a bunch of guys that are like, your ceiling is you're competent. And then there's a bunch of UDFAs I don't know anything about. There's a lot of people who are excited about, like Saunders and a few other guys that we picked up.
Maybe.
But we're doing the same thing we did with the DT room last year. Just the buckshot.
And the OL room.
Let's get 12 of them, and let's see what kind of cream rises, But yeah, we don't have a number 2. If Ramsey leaves, we don't have a number 1. We need to make a move if we want to solidify that. If we could pick up one free agent, it better be a corner. One quality free agent.
So where does Cody rank us with our DB room? Dude,
at least I'm going to say a D. With Ramsey, it's a D+ because that dude ain't going to play for shit anyway. So it's our worst unit.
I'm going to go with you guys, D+. I guess I was shooting a little high at C-. Scary. So then safety group, we got McMorris, Ashton Davis, Campbell, and Melifanu. I think it's not terrible. But Melifanu's, I don't know, can he play every down? Ashton Davis, can he play every down? There's a lot of guys there again. And Melifanu, Campbell liked him a lot, coach from the Lions. But look, if you're playing a certain way, you don't have to be great. Jets played for years without any great safeties, but they had great corners, 3 great corners. So it depends. We are probably going to be playing lots of kind of zones and stuff. I don't see us how we could be playing man with these kind of cornerbacks. So it's going to be like a zone blitz, that wrap up cover 3 type stuff, keep everything in front and just kind of bend but don't break. I'm not too hot on this group either, really, tell you the truth. I'd say, I'd say C- because Ashton Davis does have some potential. Melifanu has some potential. But, neither one of them really played. I mean, was Melifanu a starter?
Yeah.
When healthy.
He earned the starting job with Detroit, and actually he earned it twice. Once before he got injured, and then once after he got injured.
I didn't know he got injured twice. Oof.
The playoff game. He started that playoff game too for Detroit.
C or C minus?
I'm saying C plus, just because I like Trader, and so does Cliff Hooper there in the comments. I like Trader.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I like him.
All right.
I think he's got a chance, and I'll go C plus.
I can't grade it.
When Flores was running things, he wanted top DB play and get by with the old blitz, zero blitz.
Yep.
Now it seems the Dolphins are going D-line first and get by back on the back end. Both are risky. They are.
I'll take the D-line, baby. I'll take that.
Cliff likes the Trader as well.
Yeah.
But relying on players to hold each other accountable. No, it's not good. You've got to. It's like you have the oldest son. You want him or daughter. You want them to set the tone, but the authority's got to come from the parents. So okay, QB room. I think that's better than last year. That's not saying a lot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Skyler
definitely better.
Mike.
Yeah, I think the running back room's better.
Agreed.
I think the running backs room. Madison, I think, tips it on the scales. I think the tight end group is better.
I do too. Yep.
Wide receiver group, I think, is better.
Definitely more versatile.
I think the O-line, I don't know about the O-line being better. Tehran was such a big piece. I know he was injured.
Liam's not starting.
They're better. They're better. Yep. Addition by subtraction equals multiplication.
Yep.
I don't know if the D tackle group's better because Campbell and Sealer were something special. I think the potential is to be much better, but I think it's a push to slightly downgraded. ED group. Well, by the end of the year, I think it's because you had Phillips. At least, I don't know.
Push.
What do you?
I think
push.
Yeah, I'd say push.
It's pretty much the same
better.
Guys.
Yeah, I'd say push to slightly better, maybe.
Yeah, because eventually maybe Phillips and Chubb are going to play, so I think it will get better in time. LB group, I think, is better.
Yep.
Cornerback group, big downgrade, like 2-step downgrade. Safety group, I think, even though I'm not a big fan of Holland or Poyer, it's a lot of veteran stuff that, and I think it's a downgrade too. So overall, you've got 2 pushes, 2 downgrades, well, double. So, double downgrade, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position groups that got better. I mean, not saying that they did dramatically better, slightly. I think the quarterback group is slightly better. I think the running back group's better. I think the tight end group is better. I think the wide receiver groups is really better. I think it's a slight advantage, maybe sort of, I don't know, on the offensive line, but Eichenberg does tip the scales. And the linebacking group, I think, is better. So overall, I think the team has improved. Having a secondary, literally a safety and cornerback group where you don't have any real serious like answers. That's because it's just like if they start putting points on, then that's going to force us to throw more, and that's going to have the offensive line pass blocking more, and that's going to put them at a disadvantage, and everything can start crumbling. So I think I think we're probably going to be around in that same sort of range, but if there's a few injuries, I think overall depth wise, I think we got a lot of issues with depth. I think our depth might even be worse than last year in some ways. Because, I mean, you lost Fuller, and then you still went into your next group of guys. You don't even have a Fuller. You don't. Yeah. Ramsey's going to be gone. Tehran's gone. So, I mean, you lost Tehran and you lost Jackson. You brought Paul up. So, I don't know. I think the depth is definitely a downgrade in some ways.
We also didn't talk about special teams.
I was going to say, we got a punter. We got a
I don't talk about special. I don't know nothing about special teams. I don't care about special teams unless they screw it up.
Stonehouse.
I'm a what do I call it? I'm a football snob.
Stonehouse is way better of a punter. That's for sure.
That's good.
And
that's
huge.
All seriously, it's huge.
Different special teams coach too, and any special teams
coach
is better than
that's
what
true.
We had. So,
all right, well, that's a check. So, okay, overall, I like the new 6'4" Armstrong. He was a beast in college. Mm-hmm. It's hard, though, man. His UDFAs, it's hard. I remember we had, what's-his-face a couple of years ago?
Preston Williams.
Yeah. He took that big hit and was never the same.
He didn't want it. He was one of those guys that just had too much shit going on in his brain off field.
All right, so overall, what do you think? What's your general aim for? Give me like a 2-game spread. Of victories.
All right, 8 wins, 9 wins. Is that what you're talking about?
9?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know how many people are going to agree with me here, but I'm going to go ahead and say 9 to 11 wins.
9 to 11. I'm not one of them. I'm saying I say 7 to 9, 7 to 8. I think just 7 to 8.
Just be tough. Fix the short yardage.
Yep.
And just show us hey, we're a few drafts away, 1 draft away, whatever. Just the philosophy was different in the draft. Now make the season's philosophy different.
Yeah. I think Angel's got a good point here. I think Weaver's going to play zone in the back end and a lot of keeping everything in front. Yeah, and then get into the red zone. And once you get into the red zone, you got the big bodies to kind of keep them down to 3 points.
Yeah.
So I agree on that one. So we got a 7 to 11 wins.
There you go.
I guess we'll have to see what everybody else does. So I think it's been a pretty fair, but we still got to see what they add in free agency and how these guys, because, we don't know, maybe, you get a couple UDFAs who are phenomenal, or you may get 0. What if a bunch of guys step up? You don't know. It's such an unknown at this stage.
Yeah. I guess I have to do my TD Fens talk impersonation. Super Bowl.
Is that what he's saying? He's not calling Super Bowl.
He just does his thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And Dolphins getting to 10 if they do the unthinkable and stay healthy. Got to hit Yahtzee eventually if you keep rolling. If you roll 100 times, you got to hit Yahtzee once in a while.
Yep.
We got an easy schedule, like the 6th easiest schedule, whatever that means, but that's where we're at.
We have the 6th easiest schedule.
Don't quote me on 6, but it's top 10 and easiest schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's based on last year's wins. That's not taking into account teams got better or whatever. We'll see once it plays out. So anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. I'm going to be. It's not really much to talk about going forward. Maybe next week we'll keep going with lives, but I'm going to stop doing my Thursday live because it's really, unless there's something big that comes up, it's really hard to dig in and talk about nothing. But I think I'll be back next Monday. I'm going to take a vacation in a week or 2. I'm trying to prep. I think June 1st is where the news is going to catch up again. I think things will start getting primed for that. So, but I thank you, Cody. You're the best. Dirk, you're the second best. You guys are all, I don't mean second, but in a tie, a push. You guys are a push for the best together.
You already said it, man.
You know what I meant. I always say stupid stuff. That's what I say all the time. I say stupid stuff. I called PJ's girlfriend, the dog, the girlfriend the other day because I thought he was talking. I do stupid stuff, man. You know what I mean, though. Anyway, guys, I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Get ready for the season. It's I don't know what the heck to make of it. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see. But guys, I appreciate everything. Curtis, Cody, and Dirk saying go Fins and good night.
Peace.